Greetings and welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. Another baking adventure today. So, cinnamon rolls. A lot of people love them. I love sweet things. I love cinnamon. I'm just not a big fan of cinnamon rolls. I can't explain it. I like all the ingredients. I just don't like it together. But Pillsbury makes these orange rolls that I absolutely love. Well, they've pretty much perfected those. They've got those on lockdown. So I thought to myself, well, what could I do? Well, Trader Joe's sells this incredible organic watermelon fruit spread. How about we make watermelon rolls? I've never tried it before, just an idea that popped in my head. Let's give this a try and see where it goes. So, first thing we're going to do is set our oven to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to get ourselves a 9 by 13 inch baking pan. We're going to line that with foil. And it's okay if the foil goes over the edges. In fact, we want it to. Now that we've done that, we're going to grease it. Set it aside. We're also going to get a large bowl. Grease it. Set it aside. Now all of the ingredients, their amounts, and the instructions are down below in the descriptions. I'm going to do my best to get everything right, but I'm working off of that recipe, so that's the one you need to look at. Okay, so now I'm going to take 3/4 of a cup of whole milk. I'm going to warm this up to 110 degrees in a saucepan on the stove. Fahrenheit. All right, that only took a minute or two. That is going to go into a measuring bowl here. To that, we're going to add 1 package of instant rise yeast or 2 1/4 teaspoons. We're going to get that all mixed together until the yeast dissolves. All right, and then we're going to whisk in 3 chicken seeds at room temperature. Now we're going to work with our dry ingredients. So into my stand mixer bowl goes 4 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour. 4 1/4 cups. 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. 1/2 cup of cornstarch. And 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. Going to get that onto our mixer. Going to attach our dough hook. There we go. And we're going to mix that on low until everything's fully incorporated. Just about a minute or two. Electricity. Now we're going to slowly add our milk-egg mixture. We're going to let that go on low speed for about a minute until that dough comes together. Now we're going to bump up the speed a little bit, and here I have 1 1/2 sticks, which is 12 tablespoons of softened butter. We're going to add that about a tablespoon at a time and until it's all incorporated. Then we're going to let this go for another 10 minutes until the dough forms and pulls away from the sides of the bowl. You expert bakers out there can probably tell I'm not a trained baker. You untrained bakers out there, I hope to give you some hope that anybody can do this. We'll find out. Now we're going to bump that speed up a little bit and go until it comes together. All right, looks like it's came together to me, so now we're going to get it out of here. Take our dough, put it on a floured surface here, and we're going to knead it a little bit until it is nice and smooth. My oven's reached 200 degrees. Now I'm going to turn it off. Now we'll get our dough kneaded here. All right, that's looking pretty smooth to me. So into our bowl that we greased earlier, we're going to cover that with saran wrap. Then we're going to set it in that oven and let it sit there for about 2 hours. Should double in size. We'll see you then and find out. Those rolls have been proofing in the oven for the last 2 hours. They have doubled in size. Now it's time to get the guts into them. So we're going to get a floured surface here. And then we'll get our rolling pin floured here. Okay. All right, so the dough comes out. And we're going to get that into an 18-inch square. Well floured on both sides. Get that rolled out. All right, I don't want to play into stereotypes, but we know it's true. Wait one. Director, will you come here, please? Would you call that an 18-inch square?
No.
What, it's not big enough?
Never.
Yeah, she's right. It's about 13 inches. Well, good grief, my cutting board isn't big enough to make an 18-inch square. Got to regroup. All righty, we've regrouped here. Now we're going to get our 18-inch square that we have enough room. Oh yeah, 18. We are there. So we just got to square it up a little bit. Okay, at this point we're going to spread on. I've got 4 tablespoons of very softened butter butter. Butter that has been softened a lot. It's soft, very soft. Alrighty, that looks pretty even. Now we're going to evenly spread out the entire 10-ounce jar of the organic watermelon fruit spread. All right, had to throw an audible. Once I got that first jar spread out there, just doesn't look like enough for me. Now, I tried to find the baking expert, and of course, she's taking a nap right now, so I couldn't get that. The director took a look at it and agreed with me we could probably use more. So, I'm going to go with a second 10-ounce jar of the watermelon fruit spread. Luckily, I had to. All right, now we got our 20 ounces of watermelon spread on there. Now, I'm going to take this and gently and tightly roll it up. Now we're going to cut that into 8 rolls. All right, now we got 8. These are going to be monsters. Now, those are going to go onto our baking sheet that we prepared at the very beginning. Alrighty. So, we're going to get those covered with plastic wrap, put them back into our oven, and let them set for about an hour. Then we'll get to cooking. We'll see you then. I got some cleanup to do. So the rolls have been proofing for an hour. They have certainly doubled in size. And they are looking good. Now we're going to warm our oven to 350 degrees. And as we're doing that, we'll put together the glaze. I have 4 ounces of softened cream cheese here. I'm going to add a tablespoon of moo juice, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. Not as much mess as I thought. Now we're going to whip all that together. All right, no lumps, all good to go. Minimal mess. Now, as soon as the oven comes up to temperature, we're going to take the plastic off our buns, chuck that into the oven for about 35 to 40 minutes till they're beautiful and golden brown, and we'll be ready for the next step. We'll see you then. It's been about 35 minutes and I'm liking the looks of these, so let's get them out of the oven. Oh, will you look at that. While they're still hot, we're going to hit them with about half the frosting. So I'm going to get about a spoonful of frosting and get it in the center of each one and just let that melt through. All right, help it a little bit there with the spreading around. All right, and we'll let the heat do the rest for us. So I'm going to let these cool for about 30 to 40 minutes. Then we'll get the last glazing done. Then we'll give it a try. So see you then. I'm back. They've been cooling. The cats didn't eat them when I was out looking for oregano at Bevmo. They didn't have any, so I just bought whiskey. So next step is, remember that the foil that we used was bigger than the pan? Well, that is for this step. So we're going to use that. Look at that. Slide those off of there. Okay. Now we're going to finish frosting these, then we'll give them a try. So I'll put an equal amount on each one, and we'll get that spread all over. All right. So I told you before, never made cinnamon rolls before, and never made these before either. So this is totally an experiment. So we'll have an independent judge come in here and try them out. As I'm finishing this up, if you're liking what you're seeing, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button and never miss an episode. Hey, would you try watermelon rolls? Or is there another thing that I could do here that would be incredible other than a cinnamon roll? Let me know down in the comments. All right, Gabby's about to head out for a heavy night of drinking with Charlotte and the director, so she needs some substance first. She's an independent agent here. She's going to give this a try. My first attempt at cinnamon rolls with watermelon filling. So, watermelon rolls. Here we go. Do you think it's as good as those Pillsbury Orange Rolls?
Better. I don't like the orange roll.
Well, there you go. I absolutely love them.
This is like perfect amount of watermelon. Not overpowering.
Oh, awesome. It is a good thing we called that audible and put that second jar in then. All right, I love when an experiment comes together. As you can see, Gabby's confiscated the whole thing. So it is a hit. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today. And until we see you next time, fair winds and following seas.